Welcome everyone. Today we are going to do a video on ancient history of India. So we had already discussed each parts in the ancient history of India. So today we will do a brief video which includes all the portions in ancient history of India. So the ancient history of India is from earliest to mid 8th century. It is counted from earliest eras to the mid 8th of century AD. Indian history is mainly divided into three. One is ancient history, then medieval one, and the modern one. So the ancient is from earliest to mid 8th century AD. So today we will discuss on the ancient history of India. First we will discuss about Harappan Civilization. The Harappan Civilization lasted from 2600 to 1900 BC. The Harappan Civilization was established in the banks of river Indus. So it is also called as Indus Valley Civilization. So in the map we can see the extent of the Indus Valley Civilization, which was spread over Gujarat, Punjab, Pakistan, and even in Afghanistan also. So in the figure we can see the extent of Harappan Civilization. The major centers of the Harappan Civilization were Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, Lothal, Sutkajantor, and Dholavira city. So Harappan civilization is of three stages. First is the early Harappan, and then the mature Harappan, and then it came the late Harappan. So bricklaying was one of the major significance of the Harappan civilization, and well-established settlements and drainage systems are also most important points of the Harappan civilization. So this was a civilization which was flourished in the bank of river Indus. Then we had discussed about the Vedic Age, which lasted from 1500 to 500 BC. So Vedic Age is also divided into two. First is the early Vedic period, that is from 1500 to 1100 BC, and the late Vedic period from 1100 to 500 BC. So we will discuss some points on Vedic Age also. The Aryans are believed to be migrated from the west, and they composed the Vedas. That is the four Vedas: Samveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, and the Rig Veda. So Aryans are the composers, and they settled a new period in the Indian subcontinent, and that's the Vedic Age. So the important points in the early Vedic Age are: cattle was very important. No Varna system was there, and barter system was the major system of exchange, and the major gods in the early Vedic period were Indra, Agni, and Yama. Then came the late Vedic Age with a fourfold Varna system. The Varna system came to existence in the late Vedic age, and iron technology was also used in the late Vedic age, and emergence of Janapadas. Janapadas means these are the small settled kingdoms in the Vedic age. The small independent republic kingdoms in the Vedic age are known as Janapadas, and the major gods in the late Vedic age were Prajapati, Rudra, and Vishnu. Then came the Magad, that is the Janapadas, the smaller kingdoms in the late Vedic age now emerged into Mahajanapadas. So there were 16 Mahajanapadas in the Indian subcontinent. In the figure given here, we can see the 16 Mahajanapadas in the Indian subcontinent. Among this, Magad, Avanti, Vaji were the powerful ones. So out of this Mahajanapadas, Magad used full of its natural resources and emerged victorious. So out of this 16 Mahajanapadas, Magad emerged victorious by the utilization of its natural resources in the adequate manner. So in Magad, several dynasties came to in power, and the first one is the Haryanak Dynasty under Bimbisara. The Haryanak Dynasty lasted from 542 to 513 BC. So it was established by Bimbisara. And next was his son Ajatashatru. Actually, the Bimbisara established the Magadh to a greater region by marriage alliances. So all these points we had already discussed in the separate videos. So Bimbisara established the Magadh region by marriage alliances. His son was Ajatashatru. But Ajatashatru took more aggressive policies and attacked many areas to make it under his control. Then Udayin and other 4 rulers ruled Haryanak Dynasty. Last ruler of the Haryanak Dynasty was overthrown by the people. Then the next dynasty came to the Magadh. That was Shishunaga Dynasty, which extended from 413 to 326 BC. Shishunaga was a viceroy at Benares. He was made the king of Magadh by the people, and he is said to be the conqueror of Avanti, and he made Avanti a part of Magadh and made Magadh a larger kingdom. After Shishunaga Dynasty, the next dynasty came, that is the Nanda Dynasty from 326 to 321 BC. So Nandas are known as the first empire builders. So in the figure near, we can see the extent of the Nanda Empire. From a small Magadh kingdom, now the kingdom emerged to a larger part. And the Alexander's invasion in 326 BC also took place during the Nanda reign. 9 Nanda kings are listed in the history, those who ruled in the Magadh region. Nandas were overthrown by the Chandragupta Maurya. So 9 Nanda kings were there, and the last Nanda king was overthrown by Chandragupta Maurya in 321 BC, and a new dynasty came in Magadh, that is the Mauryan Dynasty. So the Mauryan Dynasty lasted till 185 BC. From 321 to 185 BC, Magadh was under the Mauryan Dynasty. So in the map we can see the extent of Mauryan Dynasty to a larger part, almost all of the Indian subcontinent. So Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Maurya Dynasty. Chanakya and Megasthenes were in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Chanakya was his prime minister, and Megasthenes was an ambassador in Chandragupta Maurya's court. Mauryans are said to have the largest army in ancient India. And after Chandragupta, his son Bindusara followed him. The next one was Ashoka. So Ashoka belongs to the Mauryan Dynasty and is a son of Bindusara. Ashoka is credited with conquering of Kalinga, and he made Kalinga to the part of Maurya Empire. Ashoka's policy of Dhamma Vijaya was also popular. In the Kalinga war, he repented and he converted to Buddhism. Brihadratha was the last ruler of the Mauryan Dynasty, and he was slain by Pushyamitra Shunga. Brihadratha was slain by Pushyamitra Shunga, and Pushyamitra Shunga started a new dynasty after the Mauryas, that is the Shunga Dynasty. The Shunga Dynasty lasted till 74 BC, from 185 to 74 BC. Shunga Dynasty controlled only small part of the Mauryan Empire. So in the map we can see now the empire is only in a small region. That is, Shungas were able to control only small part of the Mauryan Empire. And it was a Brahmana family. And confined only to Magadh and the central India. The empire is confined only in the Magad and the central India region. And they were overthrown by Vasudeva, and a Kanva dynasty was started. So Shungas were overthrown by Vasudeva, and Vasudeva started a new dynasty, Kanva dynasty. And Kanva dynasty lasted for few years only, and they were deposed by the Andhras or the Satavahanas. So Kanva dynasty was deposed by Andhras. This is the South and Deccan in the ancient history of India. So here in the first map we can see the Satavahana Empire or the Andhra Empire. So almost in the south we can see the Satavahana Empire, and in the next sphere we can see the southern empires that are the Chera, Chola and Pandya. Chera, Chola, Pandya were the major kingdoms in the southern India. Now in the northwest. In the northwest there were Indo-Greeks or the Bactrians, Shagas or Scythians, Parthians, and the Kushanas or the Yahchis. So in the northwest we have Indo-Greeks or the Bactrian. After that the Shagas or Scythians came, and the Parthians, and next the Kushanas or Yahchis. So all these we had already discussed in the videos. So you can see the Indo-Scythian kingdom, Kushana Empire in these maps. The next is the Gupta Dynasty, which lasted from 319 to 540 AD. Gupta Dynasty is known as the classical age in the ancient India. And Gupta Dynasty was founded by Chandragupta first. And the next ruler was Samudragupta. And the next is Chandragupta II, also known as Vikramaditya. So Gupta Dynasty are claimed to be the largest issuer of gold coins. They issued largest number of gold coins in ancient India. In the figure we can see the Gupta Empire, almost in the northern part of Indian subcontinent. The next is the Harshavartana. After the Guptas, Harshavartana ruled the Indian subcontinent from 606 to 647 AD. So Harshavartana belongs to the Pushyabhukti family, and he moved his empire's capital from Tansir to Kanauj. After his death, the kingdom was disintegrated into smaller kingdoms. So that is all about Harshavartana. So we had discussed from Harappan Civilization, next the Vedic Age, then Magad and the dynasties in the Magad, and then the Mauryan Empire, then Deccan and South, then the Gupta Dynasty, and now Harshavartana. This is a small video about the ancient history of India. Thank you for all. For more such videos, please subscribe to the channel General Studies.